Shanti, and a good evening to all of you, and welcome. Seeing different people today, so most welcome. Is there anybody who's first time? You've been here before? Okay. So today's topic, very interesting topic, and the topic is how to deal with fear and anxiety. And it's very interesting, and it's our good fortune that we have with us a brilliant speaker, Brother Ram. He's come all the way from US, and he's going to spend this evening with us. And his specialty is, by profession, he's a civil engineer and has a firm in US, and he's a consultant as well. But the interesting thing is, how many of you remember 9/11, the World Trade Center crash? He was on the top floor, right? And how he came down without fear, no anxiety, right? Just not himself, but he also allowed other people and helped other people. It's an amazing experience, and that's why he's perfect for today's topic. So I would invite Brother Ram to come on the stage, and a warm welcome to you, brother. So today he's going to share different tips, because having a firm, engineering firm and a consulting firm, there's a lot of work, but not just that, he also is a mastermind of a project called 7 billion acts of goodness. So he's accumulating 7 billion acts of goodness from all over the world. He travels the world and he's inspiring people to do good work, and then he's registering all those acts so that to create a habit of doing good work in each and every one. So you can imagine the workload, the stress he would have, and still he's smiling and as young as always. So please share with us the tips to be free from anxiety and fear. Thank you, and over to you.
Good evening. So nice to be here. This is my first time in Wembley. And I was told it is a big city after London, probably. Yeah, it's big economy. I mean, it's famous area. Now, I am going to take a little bit of different approach, like where we say to be free from fear and anxiety. Somehow, I have seen in my life that fear and anxiety is needed for us to move. If there is no fear, we will not move. We won't do anything. If we don't worry about doing something, we will not do it. We are always last minute persons, isn't it? I mean, at least I am. I will procrastinate, keep on waiting until the last minute. And then I am in fear and I am worried. And that is where I start to study. Like I know in my college time, whole year I will not study. I was kind of naughty boy, in a way. Means doing all kind of wrong things. And drinking, smoking, gambling, creating trouble for the teacher and all kind of things. But not violent, more of a mischievous one. And then I got into a meditation. Within 1 week, I got rid of all those bad habits. 1 week. So that is where I was able to see process. See, we talk about magic, but it's not a fake magic. It's a practical magic. That how within 1 week, I was able to quit smoking, drinking, became vegetarian, and all other negative things which I used to do, I was able to drop. The reason being, I got something better. In my whole life, I have not struggled with anything, like including not to struggle with the fear and anxiety. Because what I have found, that only when the fear of exam was looming over my head, only then I got into studying and all that. So I feel that if there is no fear of exam, we won't study. And if I don't worry about anything, so I find fear is something needed in our life. So if you take it that way, then you will find when you have fear, so many things you are able to accomplish in a short period of time, if true or not. So that means like taking a positive side of the fear. Like fear motivates us. It's the fear that really energizes us. You will find even the projects, we use the word last second. So how many times people tell you, why you bring this thing at the last moment? So if you had been planning and planning, what I have found is that people who plan and plan and plan a lot, sometimes it has its own side effect. They will put so much energy in the planning, then they are not able to change when the circumstances change. They cannot move because they have put so much effort in planning. So they become rigid. They become more like mechanical too. But when I am able to work in the last moment, I can shift around. I can change according to the situations and circumstances too. You know how I know that many times it happened with me. Like one time, we had a national meeting and they were arranging a program for entertainment in the night. You know, in the evening, usually after the meetings, they want to be light. And 5 or 6 people were working on making that program. And the program has to start 8:45. 8:30, one sister came to me, say, Ram, something you have to do. I know you are the only one who can do it. I say, what? I say, can you MC the program, this entertainment program? I said, what? There were people, 5 or 6 people team. He said they all were tired. They just went to sleep. Oh my God, you know. Then I said, okay, they must have done some work, maybe collected some names who will be sharing on the stage, songs or skate or whatever they want to share. And they say, no, they don't even have that list, nothing. Now what I do? But again, the same thing that some or another, under given circumstances, whatever comes out is the best. So one thing I found that we were sitting in the dining room, and the hall is little bit 2 minutes walk within the building. And I know that when people are settled at one place, and if you have to go other place, it creates lot of kind of breaks the rhythm in many ways. So I said, let people keep sitting on the dining. There's huge dining area, and I know that when people are sitting in the dining, mostly they sit with friends. Like Spanish people will sit with Spanish people, Brazilian people will sit with Brazil people, Colombian will sit with Colombian, Caribbean people will sit with Caribbean. It's a natural kind of. Gujarati people will sit with Gujarati and Hindi speaking. So what I did, I said, bring the microphone. So I stick the microphone in someone's mouth, Spanish, speak, sing a song. And they say, no, 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 no. But then I said, okay, you do, you do. And then they started to sing. Everybody started to clap. And then French people, they sang the song. Then Brazil people sang the song. Italian people sang their song. Gujarati people spoke their song. And we have one brother called Ken, and he sings, and I had known his song with the dance. I said, why don't you play that song? People are dancing. That program turned out to be so good without any preparation. So I say, if I was in anxiety or fear, nothing would have happened. But that brought the spontaneity in me. So that means taking a positive side, because usually we have fear of losing, fear of that I will fail, fear of like relationship. So all these things tell me that I feel weak, I don't have the courage. So what I have seen, that only in the time of fear you need courage. Courage does not have to come if you don't have any fear. So actually, fear and courage, they meet at the same point. One side, out of fear, you might can slip on one side. But if you go into the side of courage, you go into that side. The whole thing, then you start to shift your gear. You start to plan accordingly. So this is how I have seen many, many times. I give you a small example. When we were children, we used to go to school, and there was a kind of this open sewer, kind of ditch, big ditch, and it was flowing, and we had to cross that. So we had to wait how far, there is small kind of tiny walkway over the bridge. So we used to go around. And I used to see that ditch. I felt many times, I think I can jump over it. Like there was desire, if I can jump over it, I will save all the time, energy I spend in walking. But fear. What if I jump and I fall into the ditch? I will be so vulnerable. Everybody laugh at me. So fear. So I used to go around, then I used to feel, maybe. And one day what I did, I went early morning when nobody's around. I say, okay, I will jump over it. If I fall, nobody will see me. But when I jump over it, I crossed it very easily. I say, wow. So what I learned from there was the courage. That means one side the fear, other side is courage. Okay, I can handle it. If I fail, I will be able to handle it. I can smile with people. Let me be vulnerable. Let people laugh at me. But at least I tried. I never forget that even. So that means fear works with us. It brings courage deep inside, hidden courage, which I never thought I have it, but you are able to be successful. So why to just be passive, become dynamic, ready to face the situation, ready to face the failure. And fear also brings out the strength within ourselves. I remember one cartoon we used to see when we were children. A race is going on. All the boys are running. One boy is very, very slow, running and running, almost looking like probably he will never even finish the race. But then we saw the finish line. That boy is running so fast, he became number one. You say, what happened? He was coming at the very last, and now he running so fast and became number one. Then we saw the middle portion. Because he was running and he was at the very end, a dog started to chase him. He ran, he was so scared of the dog. He ran so fast, he became number one. So that means the fear of the dog, he did that to him. So it worked out for him, isn't it? So utilize the fear for your success. Make it positive. See, that is how I was working in my life. Many, many times. I say, I'm ready to be vulnerable. I'm ready to fail. That means going in the unknown territory. In my jobs too. I find when the job become easy, comfortable, you know all the things, you can finish the work of 8-hour job, you finish in 4 hours. You think that that's a good idea, but I used to get so bored. I say, what I will do another 4 hours. So I kept changing my job. Every time, because to me, living in the comfort zone, then I don't grow up. Growth happens only when there is crisis, only when there is a fear. Then you grow up, you become strong. So I kept on changing job. I will keep on giving my projects to other people. And people said, Ram, why you're giving your projects to other people? They will shunt you out. But when I gave my projects to the other people, I was able to go in the unknown territory where nobody will dare to go. Is this project, nobody wants to touch it. It was too difficult. But I say, I will take it. So fear and courage, they both are at the same place. So I am thinking that I am adventurous. What is adventure? Adventure is where you do something very, very difficult. And in adventure, there is a fear of falling, isn't it? But the excitement of finding something new and feeling good about yourself is bigger than the fear itself of falling. That is why we all go for adventures. Isn't it or not? So when I will take that adventure, I go into unknown territory, there is no jealousy over there. See, when I'm doing all the things what other people are doing, there is always fight amongst each other. I want to take that, I want to take that. But you pick up one, nobody wants to take it. You take that. So you are the king of your territory. Nobody will bother to, come in your territory. Nobody wants to come there. And then once you start doing it, then you become the master. And people will say, oh, what about that project? Oh, going on. People will say, oh, what about that project? Oh, Ram is taking care of it. And then they will ask, when you will tell us about it? So you see over here, I was hired to develop structural integrity inspection program for the entire World Trade Center complex. It was total 16 acre of construction with 16 acre of 6 basement floors. And each tower was 1 acre footprint. And then there were 5 others. Total was 16 acres, and I was hired to develop an inspection program so that the building is looked at least once a year. Each part of the, every component of the building should be looked at least once a year so that whatever deficiency has developed, it could be rectified. So I was the team leader. So I had seen most of the areas in the World Trade Center. I had even gone. Now you could see that I had another engineer with me. We went on the facade as well. Jumping from the roof, it was 110-story buildings. Those 2 towers, 1 acre each, 110 stories. So we went up on the roof and then jump onto the scaffold and going up and down 110 stories. I had done that because I wanted to see after 20 years what kind of deficiency develops outside of the walls. So I had done all those things, and I know everybody was so fearful. Say, Ram, you know what is 110 stories and you are going out of the building. Scaffold is just a small thing. But we went. I said, okay, what is maximum that will happen? Okay, you fall. So you have only few seconds. That's it. No, no much. Once you go down, it will take only 1 second before you die, right? I say, okay, if I fall, that is all right. But, things are, in other words, I always thought in my life, doing something which nobody dares to do, and that is where the life is. Like even crisis. To me, the life of crisis is the life of growth. To me, if life is going on smooth and easy, I am dying slowly. Boring life. Is it true? So that is how. So I want to share now the World Trade Center. My experience. I was working on 64th floor. When and the building which was hit first. So plane came and hit the building. So building went like this, that. It was shaking. So first thought was it is an earthquake. But then building went 2, 3 times and then it came to stand still. And then we knew it is not an earthquake, because an earthquake, it will continue to oscillate. So then we thought maybe a small plane hit it accidentally. Maybe the pilot had heart attack. Small plane, like a two-person seater, like the casino kind of thing. So we knew building is very, very strong, no problem. So then we started to go down the stairs. And after some time, second plane came and hit the second building. And that is where the panic started to happen. People say, before we thought it was an accident. But when the second plane hit it, we knew it is an act of terrorism. But more than that was maybe beginning of Third World War. Because who will imagine in the middle of New York, such a powerful country, and somebody coming and hitting the pride of America? So that is when people started to shake up. Then they want to go down as soon as possible. They wanted to be with the family at that time, because maybe it's the end time or something like that. But as we are coming down, then what happened? The second tower, which was hit later, but it started to collapse first. Our tower remained, but it was shaking. So all the debris are falling, our tower is shaking. Being a structural engineer, I could feel that our tower also was not stable. And then what happened? Because all of the falling debris, our stairs were blocked, because we could not go out of the stairs in on the floor. So we had to go to another stairs. So we went over there, and all of a sudden we found lot of water started to come, because by shaking and other thing, pipelines were broken, water line like sprinkler system. So they were all kind of water was coming with such a high speed that if we don't hold on to the handrail, we will flush down, and many people got hurt even. Holding the handrail, slowly we are coming down, and then we found out we have to leave those stairs too, because those stairs were broken from underneath because of the water pressure and other structural failures. So there was only 3 emergency stairs, and the last one was left. So we have to go in those stairs, and in order to go, we had to go through a long corridor with total darkness. Water is falling on top of us. Water is at the bottom, ankle high. And, and our clothes are all wet. And we are holding the wall and walking. And all of a sudden, this emergency light will flicker. When the battery power is finished, but it flicker once in a while, we could see all the electrical communication wires hanging on top of us. So we had to bend down and holding the wall, little by little, walking in the water. We came out of those stairs and we went down. And when we came out, we had gone only 4 or 5 minutes. We felt the ground is shaking underneath. We looked back, our tower had started to collapse. We were so close to the tower, if the tower had toppled in our direction, we would have been underneath. But of course, tower came down straight like that. Nothing happened that way. But the dust, when it comes down like this, and then the dust is going all around. So we ran from there. Our clothes, our face, and it was all filled with dust, etc. But nothing happened to us. So we have a meditation center like Brahma Kumaris near Empire State Building. Those who know about Manhattan, so now you know the location, and we are only 2 blocks from there. So some people were with me, and they wanted to stay with me. So I brought them to the center and gave them the food. They did some meditation, and when at night people, when the train started to run, we went home. And somehow another next day, so many people are calling me. They wanted to interview me. And many things they were asking me. But one of the things, I will share a couple of them. One was they were saying how America will take revenge now. And even it was very much connected with me because I had spent 1 year in developing the program. I had even that book, and I even had given training to the people who will be doing inspection. So I was very much connected with the World Trade Center too. So I also was feeling empty inside the heart. But one thing came to my mind: move forward, move forward. It is not going to come back. But when that person is asking me how America will take revenge, I told him, today they took revenge. Tomorrow we will take revenge. And then they will take revenge. People will keep getting killed. Where is the end? We have to stop this vicious cycle of taking revenge. And we have to start the healing process. And the healing comes from forgiveness. So now I told that person, he wrote even in the newspaper, then he even wrote a book, he wrote down that chapter on what he talked to me about. But I am thinking that who should I forgive? I don't know who those people are who did that. Then I started to see that you forgive people who have done some terrible things. Then I looked around who have done terrible things. But what I felt was people are generally good. Nobody does wrong things intentionally. Many times facts are not clear. Sometimes they don't have the courage to do the right thing, or they don't know how to do it. So then things happen. But internally people are good. Then I'm looking around who is terrible. Then I talk to my own self. I say, Ram, you also have done many terrible things in life. As I said, I used to do wrong things. So on that day, what I did, I made God as witness, God of my faith, whosoever we belong to. Keeping God in front, I forgave myself for all the wrong things I had done in my life until then. I took that and have the courage. Like it needed courage, right? How can you ignore all the wrong things you have done in your life? It doesn't make sense, but I took the courage. And I have to really tell you, I felt so light after that. I was literally jumping with joy. All the weight of from the shoulder is lifted. There are certain things we have done in our life. They stay with you and you feel, I wish I had never done it. I did that. Forgiveness to myself. It made me light. Now that has become my nature now. Anytime I see somebody doing something wrong, rather than getting angry at that person, I forgive myself for something I have done wrong, maybe yesterday, maybe a week ago. So what happens is that you don't have conflict with people because you don't yell and scream, and also you keep on becoming light. Maybe you can also try from today on. Is it possible? Forgiving everything what wrong you have done in your life and become free today. You can try that. It works. And the other question they were asking me, Ram, you were 95 minutes in the tower and you came out of the tower only 5 minutes before it collapsed. You were so close to death. It must have come across your mind that you will not make it. You're going to die it. What was that fear? Share that, what you felt at that time in 95 minutes. Now I am looking back in those 95 minutes. To my amazement, I realized I did not have any fear whatsoever on those 95 minutes. And I'm wondering what could be the reason. I'm amazed. Only thing I could think of was I started helping other people. And because I started helping other people, my own fear never materialized. Have you experienced that in your life? That when you are suffering from something, you are in pain, but you find somebody who is in more pain and sorrow than you are. And you have the empathy and you start to help that person. And actually, while you are helping that person, your own pain and sorrow disappear. Have you have that kind of experience in life? I think we all have that experience. When you did not think of your troubles, you started to remove other people's troubles. And then you also became free from that. That is what happened to me. And then the question was, what kind of help I could provide? It's not I was carrying people with me. But we are all coming down the stairs. They are coming down the stairs. But the difference was everybody is rushing down. They wanted to go as soon as possible. But I was thinking, I am doing meditation for the last 27 years. If I also become like everybody else, then what's the point of doing meditation? I have to show that meditation helps. So I started to talk to people, slow down, and will say, have faith in God. And those people were very, very happy with me. They knew my background, plus they also knew I do meditation. They will say to me, Ram, pray for us. Because in Christianity, there is lot of value given to the prayers. And I will just share, have faith in God, and we are all good people, everything should be all right. And they were very, very happy. But when the other tower had collapsed, and then even little sound will come, everybody was so scared. And there were ladies working over there too in the World Trade Center. So they are also coming down. They are behind me. So they will scream when little sound will come. You have seen the horror movie? What happened when everybody is so much terror and fearful, a little sound, something falls on the, you are shaken up and you want to scream. So they will scream. So when I will look at them, so what I will do, I will step back and I will tell them, come over, come in front of me. We are all together. We will go out together. Don't worry. Have faith in God. We will come out together. Now, they were very, very happy with me. Now, it is not a big deal that I was 2 steps ahead and now I am 2 steps behind. Is it a big deal? But for them, it was a big deal. Because somewhere they thought that everybody is running down. Everybody is trying to save their own life. They will not bother to see anybody else. And here this person, he is giving his own space to us. And himself is going behind. So in case we will get into trouble, this person is going to help us. Just a thought, They were so loving and happy with me. So much so, they actually told me, Ram, you are our angel. And when they said to me that word, I laughed internally. Of course, externally I only smile, but deep inside I was laughing. I said, wow, it has become very easy to become an angel. People make so much effort becoming angel. And here you go 2 steps behind and become an angel. It's a pretty good deal. But then I thought about it later on. I said, it did not occur to me being an angel. I thought it's a human nature. You see somebody weak, like they are like my young sisters. So helping them is instinct. But how come they thought about the word angel? So that means the angel, the definition of angel should be simple. So that is where I started to think. Many, many times we remember big angels, famous angels. I want to see the time. It's 7:30. Oh, it's almost up to what time I have time? Quarter to 8, right? Eh? That's it? Oh my God. Oh, all right, all right. Okay. Just, but I want to, finish this thing. Okay. So then I started to feel they are big, big angels. And I am a human person. So I am an ordinary person. So if they are big angels, famous angels, because they have done something miraculous, but I am an ordinary person, can I become an ordinary angel? If they are big angel, can I become a tiny angel, speck of an angel, atom of an angel, a unit angel? And that is where I said, that is yes possible. Because they called me angel, I'm an atom. I'm a speck of an angel. Then I said, what angels do? They appear in the time of need from somewhere. They will help selflessly. They will not reveal themselves because otherwise people will come to know about them. They do incognito work. And then work is finished, they fly away. And they don't look for recognition. They don't look for any gifts. Because if the angels start to get the gifts, they will become heavy. How they will fly? So that means angels are those few things I thought about. Now, if I ask you this thing, is it possible? So you can raise your hand or say yes or whatever. Can we come at the time of rescue whenever there is a need? Can I come to that place where I am needed? Can you do that? Huh? Possible? No. Yeah. Oh, your mom can. Your mom does it. Whenever you're crying, your mom comes to you? No. She does. No? So you run to her? What is no? Okay. Are you happy? Are you okay? Are you crying? No. Okay. All right. So you just say no, eh? Okay. So okay. Let me talk to them. I will ask them. Anyway, so can you just be present in the time of need? Second, can you help selflessly? Can you be incognito and also not taking anything in return and fly away happily? Can you do that? Can it's possible? Eh? If it is possible, let me see. Possible. So today you all have become angels. So living the life of an angel, speck of an angel, being kind, just help out. Even saying hello to somebody in the morning, just smile. Even you can make a day for somebody. Giving a right of way to somebody who is in a need, rather than say, no, it's my right of way. Go ahead. Even that makes any little thing you do. So that is where, I wanted to do something big in my life that I survived. There have to be a reason. So I developed one program called 7 billion acts of goodness. There are 7 billion people in the world. And if in the name of each and every soul of the world, we collectively perform good actions, maybe that will trigger the chain reaction of goodness and happiness, and that will bring about the change. We will be building a world of happiness. It is based on the concept of atom bomb. How atom bomb triggers, the atom hit each other, then they split the atom, then they get together, but one electron becomes spare, extra. And that extra electron start hitting other atoms and chain reaction begin, and when a critical mass is reached, then there is explosion. So that is where the definition of good action came up. An act of goodness is when you do something extra, above and beyond your duty or obligation. If I am making 100,000 pounds, let me work for 110,000 pounds. So 10,000 becomes my act of goodness. Extra tolerance, extra patience, extra help you want to give, something extra. If you make a mistake, forgive yourself. Otherwise, instead of getting into guilt, that is act of goodness towards your own self. Be nice to your own self. Accept yourself the way you are. It's an act of goodness towards self, towards animal, towards nature. Any good action you do, if we can collectively perform 7 billion good actions, maybe that will trigger the chain reaction and explosion of goodness and happiness instead of atomic explosion. So that is the message. I am bringing it up. There is a flyer over there. You can see it. You can go into the website actsofgoodness.org, or you go in the YouTube, put 7 billion acts of goodness. You can see many videos. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it.
Brother Ram, it's a question answer time.
Oh, question answer. Okay.
So there's one question from our online viewers.
Uh-huh.
And the question they have asked, because I think you mentioned about taking fear in a positive way. The question is, when should you be fearful and when should you be fearless?
That is where we use the word instinct. And instincts are built based on what is your attitude. And attitude comes when we do something again and again and again. So it is not that you choose the time to do that thing. It is not that, oh, you get a bill and now you start working. You should have money in the bank so that when the bill comes, you can write a check. So same thing goes with that whenever there is a crisis, there is a fear. If I had been doing something good in my life and you have the faith, whenever you do good, good will come back to you automatically. What goes around comes around, that becomes your faith. And then what happens is, in the time of that kind of situation, whatever is right, that is how you will think about. It becomes so natural. If people think, oh, when there is a crisis, I should plan, and nothing works in the time of crisis. You will not be able to remember God at that time. We think we will be able to remember God. That remembrance will be filled of guilt. It will be filled with fear. So that when we say when, it is a immediate instinct. And that instinct, that's why people say follow your heart, follow your instinct. At that time, you won't be able to make judgment. So in order to be natural, in other words, build accounts of goodness with everybody. And then the decision will come to you automatically. Yes. One question this person has. This gentleman has it over there.
So, Sahar, I heard your whole story, and I'm really amazed, how you have performed in those crisis situations. So, my question is that how did you manage? Like, you were in actually fear of death was there in front of you. You can only imagine, or the people with you can only imagine. How did you able to manage that situation? Because nowadays we see small crises and
Huh?
people
Speak loud. Yeah.
Nowadays, we see small crisis, people start panicking. Yeah. So it happens with me as well. And especially in the foreign country, Western countries, small things start creating panic. And you are in actual danger. Yeah. So, sir, how did you manage? Because there are two types of danger. One is like only is in your thinking, and one is actual. So you were facing actual danger where you could have lost your life, or it could have bent really long, like you could have lost leg or something like that. But how did you manage that? What thoughts you were getting in that situation that you that hold yourself?
This is what I am saying, that at that time, it is not managing. You won't be able to manage. I find crisis, you can never manage. If something you can manage, it is not crisis anymore. See, something you can manage, it's not crisis. You cannot call it crisis. So crisis is something you cannot manage. So what happens is, that is where your abundance become handy. Your life, what your life had been. Leaders are not made in the time of crisis. We think the leaders emerge, but actually leaders are revealed in the time of crisis. So that means somebody who had been doing it over a long period of time, then automatically their attitude will become that way, their outlook will be like that. It will be so automatic that they will not even think that I should help. Like, for example, I did not think, oh, now these sisters are crying. Should I call them or should I not call them? What will happen if I have to go behind? What will happen? The last situation happen? No, I just heard them crying. Come over. So it is because that is where your life becomes. And that is where I said, when you accumulate a positive account of good actions in your life, because I really, even after that, there was a thought that why did I survive? We lost 10 people in our office. And I'm saying, why did I survive? Survival guilt. And what I said to myself, if I think I also have died, but now I have not died, so is it possible I can become a living, like they said, angel? If I had died in my home, people had my picture and they would have garland around me. They say Ram was an angel, but he's dead. So I would have been a dead angel. But now I did not die. So can I become a living angel? So even that situation afterwards too, there are people who are up till now, they are in a big, post, what they call it, trauma syndrome, etc. Never happened to me. This is where I say to people, don't think at that time you will be able to manage things. Work, accumulate beforehand.
Brother Ram, what you are sharing, I can understand that you have spent over 50 years meditating.
Yeah.
And in those 50 years of practice of meditating, you've accumulated the attitude of becoming calm and peaceful, and you've got that abundance, stock of abundance that came handy during the time. So I would really request you if you could lead us into a meditation that can also help us learn and accumulate the stock of abundance. Thank you.
Okay. So maybe like you can take how I have in my life that developed that thing because being an engineer, I always used to use the logic about everything. So for me, meditation is, what is the application of meditation? How it can be beneficial in my day-to-day life. Like we get love and happiness and peace from yoga, but applied yoga is putting it into action. So that application of yoga and how that thing come, maybe we can see our identity. So in meditation, you can close your eyes if you like. We come to know I am a soul and I have a body. Like I am a driver and the body is a vehicle. I am a living being, and with my power of the soul, the body runs. And as my body has parents who created me, and I carry their DNA. And now I come to know I am a soul. And who is the mother and father of the soul? The supreme soul, God of my faith. And if I believe I am a child of God, I also have to have the courage to feel I carry God's DNA. And the telltale signs are, we say God is ocean of love. And I feel comfortable in the atmosphere of love. I feel deep inside there is so much love. Even externally, I might get upset. But deep inside, I have so much love. And that's God's DNA of love. God gives happiness to everybody. And I also see within myself, deep inside, I want to make everybody happy. It's true about me. And that is God's DNA. So I start to believe with conviction, I carry God's DNA. And one of God's DNA is to give. God gives, gives, and gives. So if I carry God's DNA, I also experience my DNA of giving. Giving, giving, and giving. So my relationship is built on giving, not give and take. And giving is sharing. If I am making $100,000, let me work for 110,000. So I am giving $10,000 worth help to the society. If I make a mistake and I damage 10 units, I can make up for it 12 or 15. So 5 becomes my giving. So under all situations, doing something above and beyond my duty or obligation, that becomes giving. And as I keep on giving, and I become convinced I carry God's DNA. And God protects everybody. And I am helper of God. And I am a tiny angel. And I am protecting other people as well. And when I protect other people, I am automatically protected by God. And that is how I overcome fear and anxiety. And that should become part of my life. Keep doing good to self, to the people around me, and everybody around. Om Shanti.
Thank you so much, Brother Ram. And really a round of applause for your wisdom and practical tips that you have shared with us tonight. And while I was listening to you, the thing that I'm going to take away is the more good you do, the less anxious you become.
Yeah.
Right?
See, you come up with the good essence of that.
Yes. So, and while Brother was sharing about accumulating, and this beautiful book came into my notice, it's from our shop downstairs, which beautifully describes how we can actually make our mind as a weapon. We can actually use meditation as education and our qualities as transformers to deal with the three dragons that really disturb us in our day-to-day life, and that is doubt, worry, anxiety, and fear. So if you want to get rid of these three dragons, this is the book called Slaying the Three Dragons. So have a look on your way out. Very interesting book. And thank you so much once again, Brother Ram, and all the online viewers who are watching us.
Thank you.
This talk also inspires me personally to check that how much calm or peaceful I am every day, every hour, every minute, so that I'm practicing and creating and developing a mindset towards the higher purpose. So would also request all of you, if you want to join in with me, then every Monday and every Thursday, we have half an hour meditation at the center, 7 to 7:30. It's collective guided meditation, so those who want to join us in person, you're most welcome to come Mondays and Thursdays. And those who want to join us online, you are happy to join us, welcome to join us on our website or our webcast. And this Saturday, we've got something called 2 to 4 p.m., a talk or a workshop on building our self-esteem. So most welcome on Saturday, 5th August, to join us for the talk on self-esteem. And next Tuesday, same place, same time, the topic is cleansing our inner consciousness. And that's by Brother Balwant. So whoever is interested to come, interesting topic, how to clear up our minds, because there's a lot of clutter inside. So inner cleansing is important. So see you all in person next week, or Monday, Thursday, or Saturday. Thank you and have a safe journey home. Om Shanti.
Anybody wanted to see? Website, you know, it will be